Okay, first portage is almost over. I have to go back and get the canoe. I was ambitious and thought that I could do it all in one go. So I've got about 40 pounds of stuff that I'm carrying with me, and then a 41-pound canoe. My shoulders were just burning, absolutely burning. So even with 80 pounds on you, you're gonna have a tough time. And this was like a 540 meter long portage. So thought I could do it in one carry. Definitely can't. That time I did that entire portage with the canoe and my barrel on. There's a campsite straight over there. But I'm tempted to go to the farther one, even though there's probably somebody there. I'm gonna try. I am a little unsure on which campsite I want to go to. I'm getting hungry. I'm thinking on going to the first one, but I also want to get up early and get going first thing in the morning, so I'm tempted to try the farther one. But the problem is that if somebody's there, I have to backtrack all the way back. And I'm already hungry and the sun is starting to go down. So, we'll see. Well, I took a gamble. Went to the far end. My portage is right over there. By the looks of it, this campsite is empty. So I'm gonna get set up, grab some water. I have a filter to filter the water out of the lake. I'm gonna whip up some food. We made it. Ow, a fly biting me. We're home for the night. Oh wow. What a beauty spot. It's all kinds of cooking stuff. Tin can. Not too good. What a beautiful spot. There's only one widowmaker. Everything else looks pretty good. I wonder where I'm gonna set up my hammock. Maybe right up against those two big ones. There's a couple things up there that I don't want on me, so I might settle for some smaller ones, but there's lots. Anyways, I gotta get some water. I gotta get some food into me. Alrighty. 7:30. Finished my food. There is my hammock with the tarp set up. It is very dark. Very quiet. Had to get everything set up as quickly as I could because I just got the barrel hung in fallen tree as it was getting dark. Needed my headlamp. No fire tonight. Just want to get some sleep and get back out there tomorrow. What a beauty night though. I'm excited for my first sleep solo camping. It is 6:50 in the morning after my first night out here. And the fish are jumping like crazy. Fishing season closed here 4 days ago. Which is too bad. Last night there was a cow moose in heat, just screaming at the other end of this lake. I wish I could have got it, but my phone died and I didn't want to go into the bush to go and get my charger. Goodbye, campsite number 1. We are at almost 9 o'clock in the morning, so hopefully I get to my next one by noon. Guy sounding me off. Go time. One thing that was good to research was which way, it sounds funny, but which way to sit in the canoe when you're on your own. And if you sit at the bow facing to the stern, which is the front of the boat facing the back, you're actually sitting more central in the canoe. And it's easier to maneuver, especially when the winds pick up and stuff. So, definitely a good thing to practice. It made my life a heck of a lot easier yesterday, but it doesn't look like we're gonna get much for wind this morning. Made it through my first portage, across the second lake. We've got 1,258 meter, 1.2 kilometer portage. And this is size 10. That's some big hooves. And they look that's wet. They look relatively fresh. But by the looks of his tracks, he was just wandering around here. I won't lie, this one I am nervous for. 1.2K. There was that cow moose last night, just hollering. And I got these fresh tracks here. So I'd be I'd be lying if I said I wasn't nervous on this one. We got a long trek through the bush. But we are wasting time standing here. So, no better time than now. The water's like absolute glass. But it's also getting really hot. So I'm excited for my last portage. Which is 800 meters. And then I'm done. No more portages. Which will be great. But look at this. Unreal. Beauty. Beauty, beauty. Coming up on the Iris now, my final lake. I'm going to the end of it. Then I can have lunch. I can see the campsite, which is fabulous news because I'm so hungry. I was hoping to be there at noon, but it's just afternoon. I'm not sure who would leave a site like this. Wrappers, gloves, a spoon. But this is the kind of thing that bears are attracted to, and the more often people do this, the more often that bears will think that campsites equal food. It's very frustrating when you come out here, travel 13.5 kilometers in the bush to get to a nice campsite. And now my number one worry all night is gonna be bear activity. I'm gonna pack it out with me. But at least they left me some firewood. This is all I had to do. Just bag it up. Guess it's mine now. Put the wheelbarrow to work. If you can't find or don't want to spend a lot of time finding standing dead at your campsite, just do what the beavers do. Go a little ways from home. You should be able to find a bunch. Picked up a bunch of these guys. I'm going to spend some time cutting them up. Work up an appetite before dinner. I already scouted out a tree to go hang my barrel in after dinner so I don't have to do it in the dark. And then I can just sit by the fire and enjoy. And tonight I'll have a fire to help deter any critters or bigger animals. So it'll be nice to have, that's for sure. Time to get to work. You know what's funny? I did this trip by myself to kind of test myself as well as reset my mind, just to get outside and everything. But what this trip has done has actually shown me a few things. I'm afraid of what's out there. I'm afraid of the unknown. And I take that back to my life and how I am as a person. I find I'm always worried about what's out there without knowing. Another thing is I'm afraid to start something. I'm afraid to start something if it looks dark and scary. Because when I got off of my third portage, where I found those moose tracks, it took me a good probably 15 minutes to muster up the courage to be able to keep going. Nothing happened. I was just in my head about it, turned on a bit of music, trekked on, and then as I got further into the bush it got brighter, which was another good scenario. And then the third thing that I've realized is I was sitting here waiting for my lunch to cook and I felt horrible. I felt anxious. I felt frustrated. I felt overwhelmed of being out here on my own, and now I'm 14 kilometers in the bush. And then it dawned on me I need to do something. And I got up and I wandered around. I went out back and looked for a tree to hang my food up in later. And then I'm like, okay, you're gonna sit around and have a peek at everything until 3 o'clock, and then you're gonna get in the canoe and go pick up some wood for yourself. Which I did. And it was very nice to go out and do that stuff. So I think what I learned there is don't be stale. Don't just sit with your thoughts. Act. And keep moving. I think that's what all three of those lessons have kind of taught me. I thought coming out here was going to be a reset in like a relaxing way. But I've learned that it wasn't a reset in a relaxing way at all. It's been uncomfortable. I've been pushing myself, and I think it's going to help me in my day-to-day life. There's been a few times where I've been out here and I'm like, what am I doing? Why am I doing this? Yeah, I watch the guys on TV do it, but like, this is crazy. And I think tonight I'm gonna rest a little bit easier. I'm gonna be more relaxed. I got a little bit of work to do. Yeah. Time to get to work. Another thing I need to talk about is this thing. The Gravity Be Free by Katahdin. Is that how you say that? Katahdin? This thing has been great. all I do is put a rag. I put that rag over top of it to filter out any of like the bigger stuff, anything that's large. And then put it in here. This has got a micro filter that gets rid of anything. And I just have a little soft flask from my running that I brought along with me. And you cannot taste anything. You can't taste a thing. It tastes like the best water out of like a well or something. And it's straight out of the lake. No affiliation with these guys, but really impressed. Very, very impressed. So, yeah. Little soft flask. You're gonna Katahdin. Gravity be free. This is the 3 liter. And it'll fill this thing up, which is 500 mils in like 20 seconds. So filling up my pan with water for my dry food, it fills it up no problem. Nice and quick. And like I said, it tastes great. So along with picking up a bunch of the garbage that was around here, I also did a little bit of housekeeping. I know you're supposed to leave no trace, but I'm worried if I have a fire. All of this was all leaves and twigs everywhere. And there's still a lot of twigs, but I cleaned a bunch of it up and moved it off to the side so that I can burn it safely. I mean, like, this wind's just howling through here, so I probably won't have a fire until later. But I just wanted to tidy it up a bit, just in case I get a stray ember. It will be easier to deal with than if that tinder box goes up. Let me know what you think. Is that the right thing to do, or should I have just left the campsite the way it is? I mean, it looks very nice and well kept over here, but it looked like an absolute disaster all in here. And that's the way that the wind's going, so. Just wanted to be proactive. My parents used to be on the fire department, and I feel like that is a trait that I got from them, to be proactive on fires. Also too, if the wind picks up at any point while I have a fire, I douse it a little bit with water just to tone it down, because I don't want to be the reason why this beautiful place gets lit up. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. That was the mark from pre-filtering my water through the rag first. It'll just help you save on your filters if you can get all that heavier junk out first. It takes a little bit more time, but I definitely think it's very worth it. Because those filters aren't cheap. I think they're like $30 or something like that. So, yeah. And this is all I brought for charging my devices. It's only gone down 2 bars. Phone's at 88%. My Garmin is at 70% from when I left home, so it's still in pretty good shape. And it works great. Holy, I get messages all the time. My mom or my fiance messaging me. All right, you're getting cut up. You're getting cut up right now, whether you like it or not. Got any message? Oh, and a weather notification. We're 26 degrees right now, going down to 10 tonight. I was hoping it was only going to go down to 13, because that's what it went down to last night. Or sorry, 10 is what it went down to last night. I was hoping it was going to only go down to 13 tonight, so I'd be a little bit more comfortable. But is what it is. Jeez, that piece was in good shape. Now, I've never really seen what fatwood is up close and in person, but excuse my whistle. If something comes close, I don't want it to come close. But like, that's some serious sap leaking out of this guy. I don't want to touch it, but I want to get all sticky. But we'll see how this guy burns. Probably burn pretty nice. Wonder if this will work. Probably not. I don't think I'll be able to put enough weight on it. Nope. What time do I want to cook dinner? I'm gonna say 5:45, so I can have my dinner by 6. And by the time I'm done cleaning everything up, it'll be around 6:30 when I take the barrel back. It's fall time now and it's getting dark earlier. Should be dark around 10 after 7 tonight. But at least tonight I'll have a fire, which would be nice. And then tomorrow I have to, I have 5 portages out of here. And like 14.5 kilometers to get back to my truck. And the shop closes at 6. I timed myself from the last place. It took me about 3.5 hours. And it took me about 2 hours from there. So I'm gonna have 5.5 or 6 hours of go tomorrow in order to make it back in time to drop off the canoe. So I'm gonna have to leave here probably around 8. That'll probably get me home for dinner time or so. Should be nice. Hanging out with my fiance. She'll probably have a wicked meal made too. She always does. Especially for stuff like this. Alright. I'm sure you guys don't need to see me do this much longer. That was so good. We're at 5:06 now. Just have one more twig to cut up, and then I'm done with the firewood. And then it's food time. Make a bunch of food. And then take my barrel away. I don't know if I'm going to put up my tarp tonight. Probably should, just for the dew and stuff. So I don't wake up all wet. And then it's fire time. Finally, I get to sit beside the fire. Last night was long, especially sitting there, laying in the hammock in the dark for the longest time. And then hearing that cow moose. Man, I so wish that I was able to get that on film. But my phone died and I was not walking into the bush to go get my bear barrel. Not a chance. That thing was just like, whoa, 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 whoa. I'm like, no, I'm not moving. Whatever you're calling better not be anywhere close to me. Cause yeah, that was like, it sounded like a dinosaur. And like, you don't get that at home. You know what I mean? Like, it was like in your soul. And every time it did it, it was getting louder and louder. And I kept getting that chills, like the cold feeling through your body of like, I guess it was adrenaline. Because I'm like, man, if this thing gets really close, or whatever it's calling, if a bull comes over and gets close, like, you're gonna have to get behind a tree or something. So yeah, hopefully having a fire tonight will kind of ease my mind a bit. I mean, you're more likely to get hit by a tree branch than anything bother you, as long as you practice safe keeping of your food. But yeah, that was like a serious experience, and that's when I was like, man, I'm pretty terrified of being out here by myself. And then I saw those tracks at Owl Lake, and I'm like, man, I don't want to go in that bush. But then I said, no time like now, and I did it. It's my buddy's saying, and I really like it. So, anyways, one more twig to cut up, then it's food time. Woo! Very nice. My dinner is ready. Look at that. Not even close to the same. Alright, dinner time. I got this going. Just have to tidy up these little edges. Make sure nothing skips out. And I can go take the bear barrel back. That'll be it for food tonight. Okay, I did a little bit of a tidy up around the fire. Just to make myself feel better. Because I don't like the idea of a forest fire. And this place was a disaster. So, like I say, hopefully I don't use all that wood. And somebody can come to a nice, clean campsite with lots of wood and no worries. What a beauty night. trout are all feeding now. They're all gonna start jumping around. Well, the pinata lasted for 7 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. I'm gonna drop this guy down and cook up some food quick. And then the long trek out of here. Just over 14 kilometers and 5 portages. So that should be interesting. I could hear something last night, but I wasn't sure what it was. I think he's got a home over here somewhere. Oh, yeah, doesn't like me here. That's okay. We're leaving soon. I shaved off the ends of these, and they're pretty long. I had to baton them in with another piece of wood, like a hammer. Worked really well. Alrighty, weekend trip is over. I'm gonna call this my start a fire, leave a fire program. I mean, they had some over here. But whoever was here before me left the place a disaster. And we're gonna leave it a little bit cleaned up for the next people. No garbage laying around and stuff. So that's that. And I'll probably check in somewhere throughout the day. I gotta make lunch on the way back somewhere, so might prop up a little video there. Or if something crazy happens. Alrighty. We're out of here. Pasty. Almost stepped on him. Jeez, buddy.